The graduation address gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community, and we're indeed fortunate today that the address will be delivered by Mr. Ian Carson. Mr. Carson could be introduced in a number of ways: as an accountant, as the founder of a consulting firm with over 300 employees, as someone involved in politics at the national level in Australia, or as a social entrepreneur and the founder of SecondBite. In creating SecondBite, Mr. Carson and his wife created a new sector for the rescue of fresh food on a national scale. In doing so, they were awarded the Schwab Global Social Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2015, Orders of Australia, as well as many other awards. Since 2005, SecondBite has rescued enough food for around 90 million meals and spurred other organisations to replicate their work. Mr. Carson was the dominant force in raising over $26 million for SecondBite over 10 years. And the model is the lowest cost food rescue organisation in Australia, with a cost per meal as low as 10 cents. I now have much pleasure in inviting Mr. Ian Carson to deliver the graduation address.
Mr. Yehudi Blecher, Deputy Chancellor, Provost and Senior Vice President Professor Mark Parlange, Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics Professor Russell Smythe, the Honourable Peter Costello, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the new graduates. How exciting is this? My deepest congratulations on your graduation here today. It's all about you. It's such an honour to be addressing you 37 years since I graduated here in this very hall. I'm so old that when I was here, the Menzies building was brand new. Monash has transformed completely. Rainforest walks and meditation now contrast with the joys in my day of the Notting Hill Hotel and the odour of hooch in the small cafe. The options for students are unlimited. Let me tell you, I was an average student. I struggled and had to try for every mark. But Monash was incredibly fun, and I made and cemented some lifelong friendships. Now, I wrote this before I realised that Peter was going to be here today, but in my day, Monash was the hotbed of student activism. Peter Costello, who went on to be Australia's longest serving and greatest treasurer, ran the show. Well, he said he did. I can still remember a talk in this hall by the left-wing trade unionist John Halfpenny, and afterwards a group of us trying to convince him of the merits of capitalism. Obviously, we failed dismally. Monash has always been the place to debate the big ideas. What a wonderful university we have all been privileged from which to graduate. Now, a national and international brand that adds great kudos to your degree and mine. Today I want to talk to you about three things. First, what skills employers look for and what will serve you well in your journey in business. Second, the journey of the food rescue charity SecondBite. And third, what I've learned from Monash, business and SecondBite that can allow you to have an impact on society. Now, what are the skills that will get you a job and serve you well in business careers? A Monash graduate, one of our new graduates, recently asked me, what is the future for graduates in accounting, given the progress of artificial intelligence and computer applications? A brilliant, insightful question. My response, which actually took a little while to think through, was that the importance of talented people had never been more important and needed. People with the right attributes will be more valuable than ever. With the rise of the machine, clever people who are genuinely interested in people are more important than ever. The difference between organisations, in many cases, is the human experience or relationship. As an example, take what's happening in retail at the moment. With the rise of Amazon, the point of difference for many businesses will be the human contact. So your people skills, your empathy, could be the difference between succeeding and not. This is critical in this day and age. My second point is initiative. As an example, as a consultant, I'm helping a company improve its profitability. The team who are working with me have the opportunity to really shine and fly. Now, what I'm looking for those young graduates and the people in the team is for them to take initiative, contribute ideas, ask questions, and test those ideas with me and the team. And it is about teams. I encourage people to work in teams. By doing that, they create more value than working on their own. Each of us won't have all the answers, but just discussing a problem with someone can open up new possibilities. And be yourself. These skills will get you a job, set you up for being an entrepreneur, or whatever you wish to achieve. Now, SecondBite. It started in 2005 after I became aware of the amount of food that is wasted. When you look around, you see it everywhere, in cafes, markets, growers ploughing in bananas because they are the wrong shape. Did anyone see the ABC program, The War on Waste? Well, if you did, you would have been horrified. After seeing the waste in 2005, my wife and I started doing some research. We started asking what could be done. Now, my wife Simone knew the stall holders at the Prahran Market, not too far from the Caulfield campus. And she convinced them to give us some of their surplus on a Saturday afternoon to take to the Sacred Heart Mission in St Kilda, to cook meals for the homeless and the disadvantaged. The stall holders were only too willing to help. It's that great Australian sense of wanting to help. In no time, the stall owners became advocates for the cause, and we realised we were onto something. And we did some research, and it really shocked us. We found that 2 million, that's almost 10% of Australians, sometimes struggle to afford enough food to feed themselves and their families. 10%. It's not just the homeless. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The really big numbers are everyday Australians suffering behind closed doors, often on the minimum wage, struggling to pay high rents and utility bills. In Australia, this sort of poverty isn't as extreme as in some places, but it exists. And yet, Australia throws away $8 billion of food every year. That's right, $8 billion. It's lost at every stage of the food cycle. Bananas thrown on rubbish piles because they're the wrong shape. We don't want them. Millions of apples rejected because they have a few spots. Crops ploughed in because of cheap imports, all leading to waste. We knew food was being wasted, but we couldn't believe how big the problem was. This, to me, seemed a parable for the stupidity of our times. Food being wasted, people going hungry, and to cap it off, in some places, state regulation mandating that food be destroyed. There are many scriptural injunctions against this sort of behaviour in every religion on earth. Our genius has been to institutionalise it. Think of Thanksgiving Day in America. It's an offering of thanks for the first full harvest that staved off hunger for the first European settlers. How did we get from offering thanks for food to throwing it into landfill? What could be more stupid and more unworthy of the market, a system that we know can create so much good? We concluded the only thing possible to conclude, that when it comes to food, our Western society had lost the plot. We believed this simply couldn't be allowed to continue. So we started SecondBite, and in our first year, in 2005, our family ran it as volunteers, and we moved 600 kilograms of food. Not bad. We filled the Volvo station wagon, we had friends to help. We expanded steadily, and then something very interesting happened. The workers at Coles started to become dismayed at the sheer volume of food they were throwing away every single day. The staff knew the value of the food. They raised their concerns with Coles management, who, to its credit, listened. This became a catalyst for a national partnership between SecondBite and Coles to rescue food waste. Professor Michael Porter from the Harvard Business School calls this shared value in operation. Great business for Coles, economically and in terms of staff engagement, and by the way, what consumers demand, and a game-changing moment for SecondBite in terms of scaling up our vision and really making an impact nationally. SecondBite has expanded it right across Australia. This enables us now to provide healthy, nutritious food to over 1,200 welfare agencies and schools. To date, we've saved more than 92 million meals and 46 million kilograms of food, as the Deputy Chancellor mentioned, at a cost as low as 10 cents a meal. Now, what I want you graduates to remember from this story is that individuals can make a difference. SecondBite started with 2 individuals trying to make a small difference. Just a Volvo station wagon, just the Prahran market, just Saturday afternoons. It was not a grandiose plan. There was no business plan. We just had a crack. I hope you give whatever you decide to do a red-hot go. Now, what I wished I knew when I graduated. Monash gave me the perfect start for my life. I felt confident to go out in the world. I was inquisitive, hungry to learn more, and importantly, I was sought after as a graduate. What has been reinforced since then through my business career, politics, SecondBite, and my mistakes, and there have been many of those, many of the attributes to have a meaningful and rewarding career and life are not always a part of a degree course. Recently I heard a story about the success of people who have army experience. The experience in the army forces them with the need to be innovative. You do not get a pocketbook that gives you an answer to every situation. Many of the solutions are improvised. After the army, they also learn how to fail. Failure and recovery from failure are part of business and life. Sometimes it's not necessarily the outcome which defines you, but how you deal with that outcome. They call it improvise, adapt, and overcome. The things that I'm really keen to share with you as graduates and postgraduates looking at your future, which I've found that have helped me over the past 37 years, are persistence. Calvin Coolidge, the 30th President of America, said, "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. I have slightly edited this. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education alone will not. The world is full of educated derelicts, apparently. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Mentors. Talking of mistakes, the biggest mistakes I have made were when I didn't seek counsel from a mentor. Seek out a mentor, someone a few years older than you that you can use as a sounding board. Do it. Remember, SecondBite did not have a business plan. If we had tried to think through every part of how to rescue food, we may never have done it. Yes, do some research, but don't dream. Get on with it. Teams. As I said earlier, working in teams you will learn more, achieve more, and enjoy more. Now, helping people. Probably the biggest thing that I've learned has been through SecondBite and my career is that there's nothing more enjoyable than helping people. Hold on to this. And relationships. A lot is said of building networks, and I hear people talk about networks. 37 years on, I can see how steadily building a lifelong network of friends and business associates has been instrumental in my success and happiness. Networks is a misleading name for genuine relationships. There are no shortcuts. Build relationships on trust, consistency, loyalty, sharing, and empathy. And like everything, the more you put in, the more you get back. I started PBB with an old Monash friend. It grew based on our mutual relationships. We started SecondBite with the help of many friends, and over time, we built on their relationships as well. Every day, I get strength, ideas, and encouragement from my relationships, and mostly friends. Look after your friends and associates, and they will look after you. Finally, remember that now, more than any time in history, every one of us can make a difference. The Red Cross started with one person. SecondBite and PBB started with two. Apple, two again. Depending on who you talk to, Facebook was started by either one person or three. Congratulations, good luck, and enjoy making a difference. Thank you very much.